Papa Roach, Spirit Box, September 6 at Blossom. Caller 10, 216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007.
You'd flee a wildfire.
Evacuate.
You'd prepare for a hurricane, but there's no escaping this disaster.
It's one of the worst disasters that I've seen in my career.
It's the Alan Cox Show
on 100.7 WMMS.
I'm going to be playing a lot of Soundgarden today, just FYI. It's 6 years ago today, Chris Cornell died. 6 years ago. God bless America. At 52.
Hey, you're going to be 52.
Shut up, Bill.
You're not.
Well, I don't have an Ativan prescription, so hopefully that'll be Advantage AC.
You want some?
Are you on Ativan?
I have it. I'm not. It's not something you take every day.
They
for,
suspect
like, panic attack.
that was one of the things that might have led to Chris Cornell hanging himself in his hotel room. I've told the story many times. I was still doing my morning show in Detroit, and Soundgarden had just played a show that night at the Fox Theater, and they found him dead in his hotel room. Literally, I mean, a lot happened in a short period of time. He was staying at the MGM Grand, and they had finished the show at the Fox Theater. About an hour later, he's in his hotel room. His bodyguard leaves around 11:35. By a quarter after midnight, Chris Cornell is dead. So they said he didn't, he had a number of prescriptions. I guess he had called his wife, and she was adamant that he wouldn't have knowingly killed himself. But you get a mix of prescription drugs and you can just go into a fog, and obviously nobody will know what happened. But essentially, I had to go on the air the very next morning and talk to all these people who had been at what was then going to be Soundgarden's last show and tell the people who obviously weren't there, hey, Chris Cornell is dead right here in Detroit. So that was a bad day. But 6 years ago today, Chris Cornell died. And then, of course, I guess the silver lining is they just came to an agreement. His widow and the rest of the guys in the band just came to an agreement about what they're going to do with the music that the band had recorded but never released. They were going back and forth and litigating the whole thing, and since she represents his estate, there are going to be new songs on the way after the band settled with her. Cooler heads prevailed. And so they're going to be releasing the songs that they recorded with him. He did a lot of solo stuff. As much as I love Chris Cornell, I always forget about Audioslave. I mean, as much as we play Audioslave on the Buzzard, I just think Soundgarden, I think Chris Cornell. I don't know why Audioslave is not front of mind for me, because they did great work. But I so closely associate him with Soundgarden, and I was such a huge fan of that band, that Audioslave is not the first thing that comes to my mind. So anyway, since those parties have both reconciled, they're going to be dropping all those. I'm sure they'll dribble them out. But they're supposedly about an album's worth of songs that he had made in his home studio in Miami Beach, which him and the other guys. Of course, Matt Cameron now is drumming for Pearl Jam. They say he might be a front runner to be joining Foo Fighters. They're going to announce that on Sunday, whoever that is. But I guess Vicky Cornell has given back control of Soundgarden's social media accounts to the band. And, when somebody dies like that, all the acrimony kind of bubbles to the surface. There's a lot of hurt feelings and things like that. But when that came up in my calendar, I was like, 6 years, Jesus. These guys in the Arizona Diamondbacks, boy, they love killing birds. By the way, in Chicago, White Sox are going for the sweep against the Guardians, top of the fourth. Score remains 0-0. But everybody remembers that video of Randy Johnson.
One of the best videos ever.
The big unit. whipping that fastball just as a bird crosses the path of the ball and just obliterating this bird. And it's happened now. Another pitcher for the Diamondbacks. This was a pregame warm-up. Zach Gallen destroyed a bird. He threw a curveball. You know, Randy Johnson's, I think, was like a fastball right towards the... He threw a curveball that hit a bird in mid-flight. Now, if you've been to Arizona, the one thing that you'll notice is you don't see a lot of birds. You don't hear them. You don't see them. But over the course of... Now, again, we're spanning 20 years here. That was like 2000, right? Very beginning of that... that Randy Johnson did that. Killed a bird during a spring training game. And it's a great video. It's so fun. And as we now know, many, many years later, it was just destroying a drone. And so no birds were hurt in the pitching of that game. And Zach Gallen was only 5 years old when that happened. He said, I don't remember it as a kid, but now he's pitching for the Arizona Diamondbacks. And you'll recall Randy Johnson pitched a perfect game for the Diamondbacks against the Atlanta Braves in 2004. You'll recall that, won't you, Bill? You remember that? The perfect game? Won't you recall that with me?
The perfect game?
The perfect game. He's no Doc Ellis.
No, Doc Ellis. That wasn't a perfect game. That was a no-hitter.
Oh, no-hitter. Right.
The Doc Ellis he was on LSD, and he threw a no-hitter. He had like
Lakeshore Drive?
7 walks or 9 walks or something. So
It's technically still...
yeah,
I
no-hitter.
mean,
it's
no
still
one hit
technically
anything.
no one hit anything.
Mm-hmm.
But he had some walks. I wonder how many that was.
If you want to leave voicemails for us, you can certainly do it. You might not have time to call us live. After hours line 216-986-8903.
8 walks.
Alan, Caleb McKenna, listening on the podcast from the other day. You guys were talking, I think, about Riot Fest and the Insane Clown Posse being there. I thought one of them, Shaggy 2 Dope, had heart failure, and they weren't touring anymore or performing. I'm very interested in this because I'm still trying to figure out how magnets work. Love you, bye.
Well, yeah. I mean, ICP is doing Riot Fest there. And hopefully it'll, I don't know. I forgot about the magnets thing. That's going way back. But I like the Insane Clown Pie. Those Juggalos.
Juggalos be trippin', yo.
Mm-hmm. They be tripping. And I don't know if they'll show up at Riot Fest.
Water, fire, air, and dirt. Fucking magnets. How do they work?
How do they work? I have
Juggalos be trippin', yo.
I have to think that between then and now, somebody has explained that to them. I don't even believe that they didn't know. You know, they were just
rhymed.
Just unloading their brains, right? Stream of consciousness for Violent J and Shaggy 2 Dope. And, you know, they have grown children now. ICP, they're old men. I mean, they're around my age, a little bit older maybe. We were talking about Chris Cornell in 2017, 6 years ago. Also in 2017, 6 years ago, Bruce Jenner became Caitlyn Jenner. Remember Bruce Jenner?
Never heard of him.
Bruce Jenner was an Olympic. I don't know if he won a gold medal, but he was an Olympian.
He did win a gold medal, I believe.
And he was married to...
The decathlon, I believe.
Is that what it was?
I think so, yeah.
That's what got him on the Wheaties box.
Was the Dick-cathlon. Bruce Jenner was a very highly regarded athlete in his day. And he would do like variety shows and things like that. Very, very popular guy. And he would go on to marry Kris Kardashian. Kim Kardashian, the Kardashian sister, right? Because then she would become Kris Jenner.
But was he considered hot back in the day? Like, was he like a
Yes.
heartthrob?
Bruce Jenner? Yeah.
Because I was looking back at old pictures.
Good-looking dude.
And I'm very generous when it comes to looks. I mean, all my friends...
Yeah, Tucker Carlson.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Try it again. Yeah, but he likes it.
All my friends say I like the skeleton-faced white
Yes, he likes that waxy white.
And I don't know what it is. Maybe it's Stockholm Syndrome. I don't know. But
Do you know what Stockholm syndrome is? Do you think
Falling
that's
in
when
love
you're
with your oppressor? Is that what it is?
your captor? Yes.
Yeah, I'm aware.
All right. I thought maybe for a second you thought it just meant when you're sexually attracted to really, really white people.
No, I know what it is.
You think Swedes are hot? I've got Stockholm syndrome.
Because all my
falling in love with your oppressor.
All my girlfriends are black except for like Erica. She's like the only white girlfriend that I have. So
is that true?
Yeah, all my girlfriends are black.
Huh.
My best girlfriends are all
And all
black.
your boyfriends are white. Interesting.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So when I come and show them pictures of my dudes, and they're like, "Listen, we have very different tastes. Like, he's cute. He is good looking for you, but he's just not my type. You like the skeleton face white boys. I love black people. So I'm never gonna get their approval of stuff. So I just didn't know if I was going crazy because I looked back at like pictures of young Bruce Jenner.
I think Bruce Jenner would have absolutely been your type.
He's not. You were my type back in the day. I looked at old pictures of you. He knows this.
Now it's out.
I would have tossed it to him back in the day, but not Bruce Jenner. He just wasn't. He just, I don't know. He lacked flavor, seasoning, something. His face just looked too little. It looked too like oatmeal for me. I just didn't like it.
Does that make you feel good, Alan, that you are a skeleton-faced white boy?
No, it makes me feel worse because he said
'Cause
back
you
in the
used to
day
be.
when that's right. It makes me feel worse because my face was so skinny when I first came here.
The hottest picture I
and
have
I got a
of
big
you,
fat face.
The hottest picture I have of you, I posted on my Instagram. I think it was like for your birthday a couple years ago. I was like, hey, hottest boss I've ever had.
Well, that's true. Never have a boss hotter than me. Anyway, Bruce Jenner would go on to become Caitlyn Jenner. Sure, would kill someone in traffic before that, but nevertheless, Caitlyn Jenner remains an enigma to a lot of people because she doesn't, just because you're transgender doesn't mean that you think the same as everyone else in that community, and she very much does not. Bruce Jenner was a very right-wing person, and Caitlyn Jenner is a very right-wing person. And it doesn't matter to her. She said that the transgender rates are skyrocketing at a disturbing rate.
Disturbing?
That's what she said. Skyrocketing. That's right.
I wanted to be like those standout. Y'all muddying the waters for me.
Yeah.
Seriously, though. That's how she feels.
She wants to be a big fish in a small pond.
She's like, well, I didn't think everybody was going to be able to do it.
What's going on here?
I was a rich white man.
Where'd they get the money to do that? Right. Where'd they get the money?
Vagina's for me, not for thee.
Right.
So, yeah, she was, I guess somebody was tweeting, one of these right-wing dopes was tweeting about, like, trans this and that and whatever. Trans has replaced woke as the big bugaboo word that you can just throw into any conversation and you'll rile up the rubes. And Caitlyn Jenner was going back and forth with this person. Oh, my God. The rates of transgender, again, I don't know how you possibly quantify that, but she said that the transgender community was skyrocketing at a disturbing rate. She's like that old joke about the immigrant who gets off the boat at Ellis Island and then turns around and says, sorry, we're full. Go back to where you came from, you filthy immigrant. That's her, but for the transgender people.
I'm sorry, that'd be me too.
It would be
Yes,
we do.
absolutely.
It would
It's
be
not
me.
would be, it is you.
Yeah, no, that absolutely. I'm like,
You take so much pride in it, too.
Because I was just
He
like,
knows himself.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think back then. I'm like, ugh. If I was back in
But
those
here's the question,
times-
but why? Because
I
it's
don't
not a
know
zero-sum game. Someone else's success does not mean your failure. So
I
why
understand that.
would that be?
That's just my spirit.
It's who he is at the core.
Yeah, I'm not rooting for
It's
you
not-
because it's my personality, not because I dislike you. So you should take some, take solace in that I'm not, rooting against you because you're, an abomination or something like that. I just don't want you to succeed because that's my character. That's just how I am. Getting off the island and I'm leaving
It's
you
in
in the
his
dust.
DNA to just be
Petty. He's my chief petty officer.
Yeah,
There's
he
a reason
lives up
for
to
that.
it.
Because I would just imagine getting
That's an appointed position, not an elected one.
I just get off the boat. I'm like, ugh, it's so crowded. Why are there so many immigrants here? Like, come on. We're going to be standing here all day. I gotta sign this stupid little book. I don't know how to write my name yet.
It's just an X. X spells Poundcake.
Now I got to share,
I landed on Plymouth Rock. You did not.
Plymouth
Rock landed on us.
Got to go to this immigrant housing with all y'all.
Getting mad.
I wanted to leave last week. But no. I had to wait for the rest of my family.
Been on that boat for 6
I
months.
want to start anew. Baby won't shut up.
I just like how deluded Caitlyn Jenner is because people were responding who were going, don't you know the Republicans don't like you? And she's like, wrong. The GOP is a big tent party and blah. They want everyone. Like, no, they literally want you to not exist. They literally want you to not be a thing. But again, it goes to show you, if you are white and you are rich, the world is your oyster. Well, first of all, if you're rich, the world is your oyster. But if you're white and rich, boy, ain't nothing you can't do. You can get it all chopped off, and Bruce can become Caitlyn, and it doesn't change your brain one iota. Not one. It's like, I was a rich white conservative. I was just in the wrong body. And that's a perfectly valid perspective. Not everybody thinks the same way just because, you're part of that community. But it certainly does not put her in good standing with her peers in that community at all. So 2017, a big year 6 years ago. Chris Cornell dies. Caitlyn Jenner is born. On the cover of Vanity Fair.
Call me Caitlyn.
Call me Caitlyn. I got a break here. I'll have those Guardians tickets for you later on.